All right, shalom, 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 shalom once again. And now the under sounds of the voice of Kahan tells the dog and the good brother Israel. And since I'm going to talk about commerce primarily, I'm going to say this is not legal advice, to not offer legal advice. If you need legal advice, seek yourself a competent counsel, then please be advised. Everything I'm about to give you is strictly for educational, informational, entertainment purposes only, not to be taken or misconstrued as legal advice. So I wanted to, since we have the anti-police brutality commandos, I wanted to discuss something with you. And this is really not necessary for me to discuss with everyone, but I was going to only share this with members of the anti-police brutality commandos. But I felt compelled to share it with our entire family, so-called black men and women all over. I mean, as you see, there's been a tremendous influx of the awareness of police brutality and police fatalities. Much of the brutalities turn into fatalities. And so we just kind of want to educate you on when you're being falsely arrested and false imprisonment, because many of our people experience this on a daily basis. False arrest, false imprisonment. So this stream is about liberty. There's probably going to be a series of streams. Just going to start with this one. It's about the lawful and unlawful means by which this de facto that you call government acts in depriving our people of liberty. And it's more arbitrarily and unlawful than it is otherwise. Look at the prison. Who's mostly in the prison, good brother Israel?
Jake.
It's us.
Con.
So-called blacks. We fled the prisons. It's us.
Con.
Now, at least there's always a tendency to those who hold executive power. The conquest for ages has been to recuse liberty from the groups of the executive powers. One of their own said that. So liberty is taken away or deprived most commonly by arrest and imprisonment. According to the so-called 13th Amendment, Israel, you can't be a slave anymore, except if you break the law or if you've been arrested and thrown in prison. If you break the law or you're thrown in prison, according to the 13th Amendment, slavery is legal again. So they never really took it away. And so is it any wonder, Israel, that is mostly so-called black men and women in prison, knowing this, that slavery really still exists? If you are actually arrested, or you're in prison. See, the practice of easy arrest and secret imprisonment has always been an inmark of a despotic executive power. The government pretends that they don't know that police brutality has been going on. Do you think they know, Israel? Do you think the government really don't know that our people is actually being brutalized and murdered unjustly? Of course the government knows.
Con.
They know. The policymakers know. They know it. So to compound this problem, we have legislated mills which turn out thousands of new laws every year. They making laws right now, man, as we speak. They're not really law, they're colorable. They're statutes, they're codes, they're rules, they're regulations. See, the passion of this modern legislators is to regulate every facet of the most inanimate concerns of your everyday life in the most notorious fashion as possible. This would actually be oppressive enough if administered under the requirements of a warrant or summons. So-called black people always being summoned to come to court. But it becomes doubly intolerable if every zealous officer is authorized to arrest. And that's pretty much what's going down. The damn cops could pull you over for anything, Israel. They make up something. They say you were swerving. Then he'll find something to hit you with. So they make arrests on site. Every so-called black person whom he detects breaking one of these statutes, these codes, these rules, these regulations, he can arrest you, man, take you down to central booking. No one can be safe. Your skin is your sin. Clean like linen. Your skin is your sin. None of us are really safe, man. Don't you know we could go out tonight or tomorrow and be pulled over? And they could call in for backup and not let us make a phone call and take us to a damn star chamber. None of us are safe, man. And you don't want to join the anti-police brutality commandos. You want to sit on the damn sideline and talk. Our women are more revolutionary than the damn so-called black men. The black woman is. You can't even call me a liar, Israel. You can't even call me a liar. Our men are weak, man. Sissy-like.
Con.
So no one can be safe to leave their home or to travel about for fear of being subject to thousands of unknown colorable laws in which he could be instantly arrested for transgression. Stop me where I'm lying at, Marty Mark. Stop me where I'm lying at, Ricky Davis. See, one law review writer states the problem. Says people no longer live their whole lives in the villages in which they were born. They pass freely from place to place. And in transit, they go through innumerable towns and villages. See, the risk of being arrested on sight because one conducts, you say, hey, Israel, what the hell are you doing in this neighborhood? What you doing in Bensonhurst?
Con.
After
That's
sunset.
Salakia. That's what just happened to the young man Elijah McClain. Did you hear about the gentleman?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it was
Speak on it.
a 23-year-old so-called black man was murdered by the police, and he was I guess he had special needs or something, but he was just walking through a neighborhood, and for lack of a better phrase, a Karen called the constables, and when the constables came, they detained him. I could put the link in the private chat. It's a whole video and everything. It's really sad, bro. Like
How long ago was that?
I just saw it today. It say June 23rd.
Oh, wow. So it just happened.
Con.
Yeah. Put the link in the room. So this is what we got to be concerned about, man. They hate us, man. So the risk of being arrested on sight for a so-called black man and woman, but the black man more so than anyone, is devastating. It is appalling to any thinking person. Any so-called black man that's in my tone of skin, you feel what I'm saying. You feel me right now if you're a so-called black man. No one else could feel it like us, man. No one else on this planet could feel it like a so-called black man, not even a so-called black woman. So it would be impossible to know at what moment one might become amendable to arrest. Clean like linen might be riding his bike in Harlem. The cops said you went on the sidewalk. We're taking you in. And it turns fatal. There's a revolution going on right now, man, outside your windows. But you too damn cowardice to get involved. We told you to jump. Money, you saying con, man. You won't even show up for time. Man, I'm gonna start calling people out. Money, you saying con. You won't even show up for our meetings on time, man. We need real revolutionaries, man. There's a revolution, man, in England. And the revolution of American, the so-called America, the United States. See, these authorities have been largely influenced by promiscuous seizures and searches of persons and property. Remember that damn um stop and frisk in New York where they kiss you and then start frisking you?
Con.
And it was heavy. It was heavy on so-called blacks and so-called Hispanics. See, the history of these people against our ancestors over the century teaches that a people cannot be free where the executive power can arbitrarily arrest or imprison citizens on ransack or at will the properties of the people. But you got people that don't want to stand up. People should be flocking over to the damn anti-police brutality commandos. You're cowards. I'm going to tell you straight, man. Most of you are cowards. And it's not going to change. It's not going to get better. The executive power, I need you to understand this, family. The executive power is limited and guided by the law of the land and due process of law. Many of you don't get due process of law. I was just talking to Donald today. I said, brother, they're not giving you due process of law. See, if it was a restriction upon the King of England, it must be so for every petty officer today. There's restrictions on anyone in public office. You've forgotten who you are. Either you didn't know who the hell you were. See, in many of these treaties on the law pertaining to the rights of citizens, especially so-called blacks, and in many of the older and better court cases, we find that the Declaration, the law is very jealous of the liberty of the citizen. What law is it that regards liberty? It is the common law. It is the common law, and it declares that one who interferes with another's liberty does so at his own peril. To those of you that can't understand that, Eric, if I'm walking down Church Avenue, not bothering anyone, and an NYPD walks up to me and says, show me some ID, is he not interfering with my liberty? For what? He's interfering with my liberty. And he does so at his own peril. See, this law prescribes also how arrests are to be made and the restrictions involved. You people need to learn the law. Do you understand? You think you don't need it? You need it more than ever now, man. Because these boys with guns and badges and uniforms, they're turning it up. Now, so the first thing you got to know, Richard Stewart, and all you in the anti-police brutality, you need to know this, man. If you're out on the streets, you don't know the law, you can get washed up, man. Now, what constitutes forced imprisonment? What is forced imprisonment, Will Sims? See, forced imprisonment consists of any type of unlawful restraint or interference with the personal liberty of an individual or a man. When I use the word individual, I'm saying it in common parlance. The better word is man. So it basically involves any unlawful violation or of the liberty of another. The ancient English legal scholar Henry de Bocatron, he tells us that false imprisonment is one of the oldest violation of rights known. No damn wonder so many so-called damn blacks in prison. Forcefully to deprive a man of freedom to go wheresoever he may is clearly a trespass. False imprisonment was indeed one of the first trespasses recognized by the common law. This is why they don't want the common law, man. This is why they don't want the common law. Now, I got a question for you, Israel. If I'm in my conveyance, does that give them a right to impede me? To impede? No, it doesn't. So it doesn't damn matter whether I'm in my conveyance or if I'm actually, just walking, to infringe upon my liberty. Either way, you're interfering with my liberty, man. So, all people, you got to wake up, folks. You got to wake up. You thought you didn't need this. You desperately need it. So forced imprisonment is classified as a tort under the common law. And it is also a crime where people get falsely arrested all the time. Nobody tell them bring a lawsuit against them, man. Do a tort against them. Duh, how do you do that? See, it has actually been labeled as a tort, a trespass, an assault, a wrong, a damage, and an injury. You can sue them for all of that. And given one cause to bring suit against for remedy, but you won't do it. Why? Because you don't know the law. Depriving a man of their liberty is legally no different than depriving a man of their property. It's the same thing. You didn't give me liberty. Yahweh gave me liberty. The Creator gave me liberty. Who in the hell are you to impede me from where I'm going? See, they done dumb down these damn cops, and and the citizens, you're dumbed down also. Because you think that these cops have your damn... They don't have no right to tell you what to do, man, unless you violated the law. You don't have no damn authority over none of us, man. And people need to get that in their head, man. They're depriving people of their liberty. That's akin to depriving you of your property. That's a theft. I'm going to tell you something, man. I'm going to make your brain think from the other side tonight. That's a theft of your liberty. It's a theft of your liberty. That is a wrong by which remedy can be had. You're just not bring. You got to start to hold these beasts accountable. Just as a case with the theft of property. If someone going to steal your car, Israel, you call it in. You charge them with theft of your property. If a damn cop, a constable on patrol, forcibly imprison me, that's theft of my liberty. Maybe if I say it from that perspective, you could understand it. See, forced imprisonment is a great offense due to the high regard the law has for liberty. That's your right reserved by the Fourth Amendment, a freedom of liberty. Do you understand? In Chitty's practice of the law, it states important part. The infraction of personal liberty has ever been regarded as one of the greatest injuries. See, the injuries to liberty are principally termed false imprisonment or malicious prosecution. Pick your choice. Start holding these constables responsible. See, the reason they keep doing this stuff is they have no accountability. Unlawful detention or deprivation. The brother Morgan came over here the other day and he gave a testimony, right? They let him go, but that was forced imprisonment. You understand? That was unlawful detention. And so unlawful detention or deprivation of liberty is the basis of an action for the tort of forced imprisonment. Do you understand? Do you understand? Actual seizure or the laying of hands is not necessary to constitute unlawful detention. They don't have to physically put a hand on you. And so no one does. The only essential element of the actions, one is detention or restraint of one's will, telling me I can't go. Am I free to leave? No. Well, you're detaining me. That's false imprisonment. Why are you stopping me? See, they don't put all these damn code statutes and nonsense on the books, and they got people falsely believing that you got to go by that because you don't know the law. You never take the time to read it. Number two, the unlawfulness of such detentions, family, or restraints in his treatise of the law of tort. Judge Cooley states, and I quote, false imprisonment is a wrong akin to the wrongs of assault and battery and consists in imposing by force or threat and unlawful restraints upon a man's freedom of locomotion. Put that in your damn tort. You understand? You see how people, you got to learn this stuff, man. You got to learn this. Who said that? Who I say said that? Cooley. Judge Cooley. Cooley. Go and look it up. Go and look it up. Now, knowing thus, any type of detainment or confinement of a man or restriction or deprivation of liberty or freedom of locomotion where he is compelled to remain where he does not wish to remain, Israel, or to go where he does not wish to go, is an imprisonment. Do you understand? I need to make sure that everyone on the call understands that. If they tell you to go somewhere you don't want to go, and it's not legitimate, that is forced imprisonment. If they tell you to stay here, you want to leave, that's forced imprisonment. Bring a damn tort against them for it. Stop, allow them to get away with it. You know why they keep going on? If everyone needs to hear this video, it needs to be shared all over. You could be so-called white, so-called black, so-called Asian. If this is happening to you, you need to strike back with a damn tort. You hit them where it hurts, in their damn pocket. You bring so many damn lawsuits against them, they'll clean it up. See, the only question thereafter is whether or not the imprisonment is false. The word false comes from the common law and is synonymous with unlawful. So false and unlawful in law is synonymous. A false arrest is one means of committing a false imprisonment. You arrested me. I was falsely imprisoned. See, in describing false imprisonment as being the unlawful restraint of the liberty of the citizen or of the primary right of freedom of locomotion, the Supreme Court of Idaho state, and I quote, imprisonment is any restraint, a personal, what I say, imprisonment is any restraint, a personal liberty of another, and prevention of his movement from place to place. It don't matter if I'm in a damn conveyance. You understand, Israel? Or his free action according to his own pleasure and will. It is forced imprisonment when this is done without lawful authority. Now, they may have some statutes. Now, let me help you out a little bit. They may have some statutes on the book that allow them to do this. But now, statute is not law. It is not law. If it conflicts with the Constitution, it is not law. Go and read the Supremacy Clause, Article 6 in the Constitution. See, in reviewing several textbooks' definitions of forced imprisonment, the Supreme Court of North Carolina stated, forced imprisonment is the unlawful and total restraint of liberty of the person. The imprisonment is forced in the sense being unlawful. The right violated by this tort is freedom of locomotion. It belongs historically to the class of rights known as simple or primary rights. Do you understand? The theory of the law is that when interference with the freedom of locomotions of another at his own peril. So when the cops do this, they're acting from their own accord. But if you want a complete description of what does and what does not constitute forced imprisonment, it was given by the Supreme Court of Kansas. And I quote, it stated, forced imprisonment is necessary, a wrongful interference with the personal liberty of an individual. The wrong may be committed by words alone, or by acts alone, or both, and by mere operating on the will of the individual, or by personal violence, or both. They beat the hell out of us Israel all of the time. It is not necessarily the individual be confined within a prison. I need to make that clear. Or within walls, or that he be assaulted or even touched. It is not necessary for there should be any injury done to the individual's person or to his character or reputation, nor is it necessary that the wrongful act be committed with malice or ill will, or even with the slightest wrong intention, nor is it necessary that he acts be under color of any legal judicial proceedings. All that is necessary is that the individual be restrained of his liberty without any significant legal cause, therefore, and by words or acts which he fears to disregard. So the only thing, to those of you that don't get this, the only thing is required for you to be under forced imprisonment is for a cop to tell you you can't go anywhere when he doesn't have a legitimate reason to forcibly imprison you. That is forced imprisonment. If you're being restrained, whether physically or verbally, and you can't leave, bring a damn tort against them, man. This has to stop, man. They're not going to fix it. We have to fix it. See, forced imprisonment can exist not only by words or acts, the one who fears to disregard, but also by such acts and measures that he cannot disregard. No fear of disobedience need to exist for the forced imprisonment to take place. If someone causes a situation that makes it impossible for another one to exercise their liberty of locomotion, it is a forced imprisonment. Unless the cop has a just due cause. See, forced imprisonment is the name of the category for those torts that unlawfully deprive or interfere with the liberty of a man. See, under this category, the unlawful arrest is the most common type of wrong committed. How many of you have been unlawfully arrested, Eddie Gregg? Don't you know if a constable on patrol stops you, whether you're walking, traveling in your conveyance or whatever, and you ask him, am I free to go? And he says no, that is a short arrest. And if he doesn't have a legitimate reason, probable cause to stop you, that is forced imprisonment. And I will bring a tort against this ass because this needs to stop. This behavior needs to stop. There has to be some accountability. I'm not advocating violence. I'm advocating get your damn mind right, man. Do you understand? Another common way in which a wrong of this nature can occur is by the unlawful detention of a person in a room, in jail, like they had the good brother Morgan, or other location. See, the definition of forced imprisonment usually comes from the unlawful restraint of this nature. Forced imprisonment has been well defined to be a trespass committed by one man against the person of another, and unlawfully arresting him and detaining him without any legal authority. What was your legal authority to put me in your car and take me to central booking and illegally arrest me and imprison me? See, the law sets such a high value upon the liberty of the citizen that even an attempt to unlawfully arrest is esteemed a great provocation. All the authorities agree that an arrest may be made either with or without physical force or actually touching by the officer, the damn constable. You understand? Knowing thus, any illegal restraint of one's personal liberty by the act of another gives that man a cause of action for forced imprisonment. Again, the one causing the illegal restraint against the one causing the illegal restraint. Prima facie, any restraint put by fear of force is unlawful unless they have probable cause. Do you understand? I hope you hear me, man. I'm trying to educate you. I'm trying to educate you, man. Forced imprisonment is necessarily a wrongful interference with the personal liberty of a man, usually made by an arrest. And physical custody or restraint is not essential. I can't overemphasize that, man. In the arrest. So if the constable on patrol or the officer tells a person that he is under an arrest, he thereupon submits himself to the officer, going with him and obeying his orders. And such man is deprived of his liberty. And if the act of this officer or this constable on patrol is unlawful, it is forced imprisonment, and you should charge his ass. See, in all cases in which there is no physical touching or seizures, nor any resistance, the intentions of the practice to the transactions are to be considered. In such case, there must be an intent on the part of one of them to arrest or restrain the other, and an intent on the part of such to submit under the belief and the impression that submission was necessary. That's forced imprisonment. Let me give you a better definition, man, to give you a clear insight into the nature and the elements of this forced imprisonment. Forced imprisonment is the unlawful restraint by one person of the physical liberty of another. And or here use the word force seems to be synonymous with unlawful. So any exercise of force or express or implied threat of force by which in fact the other man is deprived of his liberty compelled to remain where he does not want to remain or go where he does not want to go is imprisonment. The damn cops do this all the time, man. But you let them get away with it. False imprisonment is the unlawful arrest or detention of a man without warrant or by an illegal warrant or a warrant illegally executed. Then it came out with warrantless searches, warrantless arrests. Don't you guys know this is against the Constitution, which means it's not law for educational purposes? But you go along with it. Why? Why? Who's texting me at this time, man? Must be the devil. See a couple of these teeth out members, man. Who else texting me, man? So, forced imprisonment is the unlawful arrest or detention of a person without warrant or by an illegal warrant. They do warrantless arrest now. And what about the length of time? Hey, did you find that video, Israel?
Con, I emailed it to you and I put a link in the private chat.
This cat's texting me at the wrong time, man.
I emailed you on Yahoo.
Hold on, man. Let me silence my phone. This is why I keep on my phone on Do Not Disturb, man. Since I took my damn phone off of Do Not Disturb, it's been going off all day, man. So I keep it on Do Not Disturb, man. So the length of the length and time requirement. How long? What's the length and time? Now the tort or wrong of the forced imprisonment occurs the instant that one is restrained in the exercise of their liberty. There's no unreasonable length of time for restraint before that tort can be claimed. So if that bastard hold me there for 30 seconds and is forced, you bring a tort against him. See, forced imprisonment at common law and elsewhere consists in the unlawful detention of the person of another for any length of time whereby he is deprived of his liberty. So it doesn't really matter how long they hold you. I don't give a damn if it's for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Can I go? No. All right. You didn't have a legitimate reason to hold me. You forcibly arrested me. You forcibly imprisoned me. You can anticipate hearing from me. See, where two people are traveling in a conveyance, right, Israel, and stop by, let's say me and you are traveling to Georgia in a conveyance, and we get stopped by the police. We get stopped by the police.
Con.
And the party traveling or behind the stern wheel is put in the police car and told to wait. That's me. That'll be me. Tell the Dr. Shah. And then the constable, the so-called officer, doing so is guilty of forced imprisonment.
Con.
Even though the man Tazadak was in the police car for less than a minute. It was a short arrest. It still was an arrest, as the constable had no authority for confining Tazadak in the car. So even when the police stopped a moving conveyance for a brief detention, it is sufficient to constitute an arrest. See, where one is told to stay in their car by this constable, by this so-called officer, though it be only for 10 seconds, it is an arrest. Do you understand? The time duration is not a factor in making an arrest. False imprisonment is defined as an act which directly or indirectly is legal cause or confinement of another within boundaries fixed by the actor for any time, no matter how short in duration, makes the actor liable to the other. That make that damn constable liable to me. See, when let's say Israel's approach. When Israel's approached by a constable or officer and questioned about his identity, where are you going? Where are you going? Let me see some ID. He's questioning Israel about his identity and his actions. This only is accosting, not an arrest. He's accosting Israel. Why are you accosting me? I'll say to him, why are you accosting me? Am I under arrest? No? Okay, well, I'm going to be leaving now. If he tries to stop me now, that's an arrest. What about damages and liability? See, one who interferes with another's liberty of locomotion does so at his own peril. Emphasis added again. So all who do so within lawful authority, they might be okay. But if they do so without lawful authority, they could be sued for trespass upon the liberty and lost to time. It is thus is a very serious thing to deprive a man of their liberty. And since false imprisonment is a wrongful and a wrong suffered by a man, that man is entitled to receive a remedy for damages. Why are you not collecting on damages, Kazbar? Well sent. See, not only is a man entitled to receive a remedy for the deprivation of his liberty, but also for any other damages that are a result of that deprivation. False imprisonment was an inductible offense at common law, and relief by the party aggrieved was obtained by an action for the trespass. The illegal arrest of a man without a warrant or under an invalid warrant entitles him to compensation for the damages sustained by reason of the false unlawful imprisonment. So now why has the system, Israel, allowed these constables to make warrantless arrests now? Why is the system like that? Because it's crooked and it's corrupt. And you can't even call me a liar, man.
Con.
See, the general rule of damages in cases of false imprisonment is that the man causing a wrongful imprisonment is liable for all the natural and probable consequences thereof. The plaintiff is entitled to recover damages for what the party wrongfully did. In the case Murphy versus Countons, Har, in Delaware, in an action for trespass, assault, and battery and false imprisonment, the court held that the plaintiff could recover not merely for the time the constable was bringing him to jail, but for the whole period of time of imprisonment. And then you have the case Mendeville versus Gustery. The court said that the arrest being wrongful, the defendant is liable for all injuries, consequences to the plaintiff, which resulted directly from the wrongful act. Check it out for yourself. Let me give you the case law, man. So this is what you should be doing, man. Don't be, oh yeah, I got harassed. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do now? Okay, the police harassed you, they pulled you over, they didn't write you a ticket, they let you go, and he's smiling and saying, nigga, I can stop you whenever I want to. So what are you gonna do now? I'm giving you the laws on it. I'm telling you, you can sue them. Put your damn hand in their pockets. See, unlawful interference with or injuries to the liberty of a man is a violation of his natural, inherent, and absolute rights from Yahweh, the Creator, which damage results as a legal consequence. Understand that. False imprisonment generally includes any assault and battery, and always at least a technical assault, unlawful arrest, imprisonment, and prosecution of a man can cause that man many damages, including bodily pain, great physical inconvenience, discomfort, loss of time, mental suffering, injuries to his reputation, distress, anguish, humiliation of the mind, shame, public ridicule, individuals' publicity, and public disgrace. So what the hell you mean you don't have anything to sue about? People hit me up, well, what am I going to get him on? Man, I could think of numerous things, countless things that you could sue their asses on. See, some of these damages overlap to some degree, but all can and have been claimed in false imprisonment suits. It's time that you start raising up and do something about it besides talking. Now, upon this subject of damages, right? The law specifies two kinds of damages or divides them into two classes. There are what are called actual damages. Then there are what are called punitive damages. What's the difference? Let's start with actual damages are such compensation for the injuries as would follow from the nature and the character of the act. They are the damages for wrong received and the injuries done when none were intended. See, in a false imprisonment, they can include the pain and the suffering which the average man would be supposed to suffer under such circumstances. And they further can include a physical discomfort and sense of shame, wrong, and outrage. They are also called compensatory damages, as they compensate the injured party for the actual injuries sustained and no more. Then you have what is known as punitive damages. Punitive damages are those that grow out of the wantonness or atrocities or that aggravated by the act. They are the injuries and the sufferings that were intended or occurred through the malice, the carelessness, or the negligence amounting to a wrong so reckless and wanting to be without excuse. These are the so-called exemplary damages. Anyone who assists or participates in any unlawful arrest or imprisonment is equally liable for the damages caused. And so no one does. Where a man was illegally arrested by a police and was placed in a patrol car, in which he was actually taken to central booking or central station, it was held that the two police in charge of the patrol wagon were liable along with the arresting police for false imprisonment. Do you understand? And I think I'll stop right there for now. I'll stop right there for now. And so I'll give anyone the opportunity to come in the room that want to come in the room to do so. Israel, you got anything? It's about 50 minutes, man.
Con. It's just real unfortunate the way that the system is like strategically set up to target us on a worldwide plane. It's not even just an America thing, you know what I mean? So it's just proof, you know what I mean? We just being judged right now, and all the other nations will be judged.
Con. I mean, one of our people's major problems, man, they don't understand contract law. Real talk. They don't understand the law whatsoever. And that is a major mistake.
Consent. That's all we do. We just if we agree, if we just hurry up and agree, maybe they'll let us go, not knowing that by agreeing, we really just put ourselves under.
Yeah. Oh, they think we got Mr. Stewart here. Mr. Stewart.
Greetings,
What do you
brothers
have?
and sisters. What's going on? I just want to say thank you for that information, brother, because it will become very helpful to me in the very near future. Thank you. God bless.
Con. Happens to people all of the time, man. And they don't know they could sue for that. People just let it go. They be just glad, oh, well, he let me go. Like he done a favor. But hold on. What was your reason for stopping me? What was your probable cause? Well, you didn't have one. Okay. I wouldn't tell him anything. He would definitely hear from me later in court with a lawsuit.
I agree. We as a people, we need to stop being scared of the system and face it head on.
The system's a pimp, but I refuse to be a hoe.
For sure. For sure. You know,
So it's like go ahead, Richard. Sorry.
Yeah, I say for every nickel or dime they can get from you, they are doing their very best to get it. And more you fight them, is more they coming up with all kind of tricks and strategies to beat you down. But we gotta stay positioned. We can't give up.
You just gotta learn the law. Once you learn the law, you can see you'll really see. It's set up against us, but we could, you know.
I mean, if you start suing these people, man, lawsuit after lawsuit, they don't. Yeah, I mean, you hurt when you go in their pocket, man.
Yeah, it costs too much.
More than you think.
Yeah, it does. I went through a scenario recently where a company was suing me, but I did administrative process with them, and they never replied or anything. So my affidavit stand as completely correct and true. So when I went to court, I explained to the judge, if the judge potentially received my documents, I'm like, how could he not? The clerk that I just spoke with said she's the one who signed the green card and returned it to me. You know, so you have it. She potentially never had it. And then she gonna tell me I'm in amity court. I'm like, okay, so I smiled because now I know I have you. If there's no contract, there's no rights. You know, so the whole matter was just dead right there. You know, so yeah, they play games with you. They do.
Yeah. I don't give a damn what kind of court it's in. It's all about contract. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what they made it that way. And UCC made contracts to lord the land.
The universe. Everywhere you go.
Anyone else got any input? Any of you girls out there with pants on, wearing boxers, got a male face, male members but you know, acting real feminine. You got anything? Any of you out there? And I want to stand up, man.
Did you get the link for the video?
Oh yeah, I don't know if I want to play it on here.
Yeah,
Sometimes they'll flag you for that.
I wouldn't. This,
Yeah.
Brother, I'll say to you, do not give up. I know sometimes it's hard trying to move forward, but don't give up. Don't,
Yeah, I
you know what
never
I'm
quit.
saying? Digging deep and keep fighting, bro, for real.
I never quit. Anyone in the room have anything? Gabrielle, Warrior, a Power, anyone got anything? If not, I'm gonna shut it down, man. I see Yasha Beam and all of them was in the background texting my phone, man. In a group text about shirts and all that, man.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I take a 2X.
Yeah.
Okay, 2X. And can I
Yeah,
have 2?
yeah, I don't have those. They have them, man. You got to text Morgan and them. I was getting those texts right here on this call, man.
Slacky, I want to make sure I say that anyone listening, if you couldn't really understand the message, make sure you get to the website immediately and try to get if any copies left. Excuse me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Of the corporations, like immediately.
Oh yeah, I got some of those. Yeah.
Corporations is keys, not only from the personal affirmations to the contract law. It's just good. It's a good read. It's a great read.
Anyone else in the room got anything? Will Sims? Anyone? Ricky Davis? Is Ricky Davis out there? Clean like linen. I seen him on the court earlier. Clean like linen. What you got, man? Tell your BM to stop calling, man. Dwight, I saw him in the room earlier. Well, man, it looks like they have nothing. I'm gonna shut this down, man. No point in me staying on here really late. But Eddie Gregg say, even with immunity, they've still got state. All right, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down, man. Thank everyone for listening. Like the video, share the video. Besides that, well, who's this? Someone's coming in the room. Last minute. What is that? Mine. N-E. Nyansa Mine. Your connection's not coming through good. Nyansa Mine, try it again. Your connection's not coming through good. With the water put there, just what? I guess that's supposed to be listening. The background noise, man. That Nyansa Mine, you fell back out of the. You gotta come into a Google Chrome. Maybe it's prompt. I'll give this guy a couple more minutes, man, see if he's gonna come back. See, Raw Boy's on here. Raw Boy. What's going on, man? What's going on, New Jersey? Hot. Breaking up, brother.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you now.
Con.
Yeah, I had a question about like not only like people arrest, how about a search? But one time,
Same thing, man. Same thing. To search you, that means you got to be under arrest. You see what I'm saying? It's the same premise. So they can't get to a search if you ask them, am I under an arrest? They have to answer that. So for them to conduct a search, you have to be under short arrest. Remember, an arrest is a person, an individual, a man being held against his will for any amount of time without any kind of probable cause to do so. It's an arrest.
one time I was in a parking lot. It was behind the plaza, and I think they were moving some work out of one of the restaurants or something like that. And I was just eating my food in the back parking lot in privacy, and I came from the property adjacent to where I was, and they came from behind a wooden fence, and they had the flashlights and everything. Next thing you know, the other units come, they brought the dogs out and all this good stuff. And it was like they were like, "What you doing back here?" And I'm like, "I'm eating." I said, "Obviously, you see me eating my food." You know, it was just crazy. They pulled me out of the car, brought the dogs. The dog had a false, you know, they had the dog scratching my car. It was
Yeah, yeah,
embarrassing,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Yeah, they bumped the dog into the car, man. Because
Yeah,
they got something. If the dog bumps the car, they say they can search it. So they purposely
right.
bumped the dog into the car. They done that on me before.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was embarrassing. You know, it was embarrassing in front of all these people. You know, I'm over here eating peacefully, and you know, I still had the ticket. I'm still trying to fight it. You know, I mean, I didn't. I mean, since this pandemic thing, you know, nothing's been open. But it's like, you know, I'm tired.
Oh,
Man.
so this just recently happened then.
Yeah, it's about 3 4 months ago. About three months, 4 months. Yeah,
Yeah, right when the coronavirus thing popped out there.
yep, yep. There.
And so what was the reason? What I mean, they wrote you a ticket. What was the reason for the ticket?
The reason for the ticket was trespassing. Give me a trespass ticket, which I don't understand because they would assume that people see, if you know the neighborhood, then you know that you can park behind the establishment without anybody being alarmed, or it doesn't bother anybody. Plus, it's private property. But usually, people will park in the front and eat in front of the storefront. When it's packed,
Right.
you go to the back of the building.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. So was there a sign posted that says no trespassing? Do
no,
you know? Yeah, that won't stand then, man. That won't stand.
I have
If there-
an old case. I have an old case also. It happened on the highway, and this cop has old paperwork. He has old depositions of rights to deposition the same way. So I know it's fraud. I don't know how to go about it. I think that's something more for private, something that you can probably you know, give me
Well, I
some.
mean, but here's the thing, man. Like, they say you was trespassing, unless that thing has some sign posted that stated no trespassing or it was in a gated community, they can't justify that. Because I would have simply just said, hey, I thought it was public property. I just stopped here to park. I was eating, So then what's your probable cause? Did someone call the cops?
Nah, they were watching the building. They were watching everything coming in and out, and that's I heard that from the cop. Yeah, we heard there was drugs coming in and out of here. I think in the plaza there's about four
All
different.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
got you. I
it's
got
about
you.
four different stores, and they were, I guess they were trying to make a sting operation. You know, they were trying to catch anybody or somebody or they didn't know that I had bought food because I was in the front and then moved my way to the back. So
Right.
I'm out here waiting, just relaxing and go down.
Yeah.
So,
That's weak.
but
That's a weak case. If the cop that's so-called wrote you the ticket don't show up, I would get it thrown out on that. But you could still bring a counterclaim against him, man, for the forced arrest. Was there anyone else back there? It was just you.
just me. Lights were turned on. To me, just like the word you were saying earlier, mental anguish, certain makes you feel dumb, makes you feel embarrassed.
Yeah, yeah. If the owner of the property didn't state that you was trespassing, the damn cops can't say nothing. You see what I'm saying? The owner of that property has to say, well, this guy's trespassing on my property.
So
And if it's public property, it can't be trespassing until he told you, hey, I don't want you here anymore.
right? So he's warning.
If it's his private property, should I say?
Right. So does there have to be like an ordinance sign, like a sign with an ordinance according to the township? In order
Yeah, I mean, but if that was private property, it's up to the private property owner.
Right.
And yeah, there has to be some sign. Otherwise, if it was public, that says no trespassing. That means no one could go back there then. They can't
Right.
just pinpoint one individual.
Right.
Yeah. It seems like they was behaving like private security guards. You see what I'm saying? For that property. They don't have that authority. That's just what I'm talking about. People start holding them accountable, man. They'll start to go away.
All right,
Gotta
brother.
start to hold them accountable, man.
All right, brother. I see that you are somewhat tired tonight, so.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm good, man.
You sure?
I'm good.
Okay.
Shalom, Ricky. Richard. Have a good night. I'm good. I'm
All right.
always tired.
All right.
Lots of time. What you got, Eric? Talk that talk, Eric.
Shalom.
No questions.
Shalom.
No questions tonight,
Shalom.
Eric. No questions.
All right.
You're gonna come on here one time and you're not gonna ask the question, man.
All right. Yeah. I just wanted to say, like, it seems to me like with all this stuff they're doing, like, trampling what's left of any freedoms anyone may think, even trying to regulate like movement and all this stuff with the mask and all this. It's pretty much like it's showing like they're like fearful, kind of like they know the time's running up, so like they're getting backed up against the wall and they're sort of like afraid. So in order to like try to maintain control, they're trying to.
Who's that? You mean the so-called black people?
No. The so-called rulers who like instruct.
Global elite.
Huh?
The
Yeah.
global elite.
Yeah, who give the orders to the police and all that, like and then it goes all the way down.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The policymakers. I was just messing with you, man. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like a sign of fear because they really like fear us. They want us to fear them, but really,
Well, a lot of us still do fear them, man. A lot of us still do fear them, and that's the problem. That's the only way so few could rule so many for so long. Fear.
Yeah.
Con. And that's why they target us, because they bank on us to just like either default or try to plead or just agree. We 9 times out of 10 we don't go into court to fight. We go into court with our tails tucked, trying to just get back home as fast as possible. Like
Christianity, man. Christianity. Obey your people in authority.
Yeah, I talked to some Christians like in my family and stuff, and anytime I bring up anything that has to do with like going against the so-called authority, they're like, oh, the scriptures tell us not to do that because it says you're supposed to obey authority, and I think they're just using like this one scripture.
Yeah, they misquote it. They misquote it.
Yep.
But they don't read the scriptures, when it tells them, if Caesar's wrong, then when it comes to the laws of the Most High and the laws of man, then you don't go with them. See, that scripture that they're talking about, that was based on the system being in compliance with the laws of the Creator.
Yeah.
Because the system is supposed to be in compliance with the laws of the Creator because it was a Creator that allowed them to rule. It says that he that rules over a man must be just. So if they're not just, then we're not obliged to listen to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was trying to argue with them. Well, not really argue, but I was just trying to, it's like talking to a brick wall, though. Honestly.
Yeah, you ain't gonna win that conversation. You're always gonna lose.
Yeah.
If they're talking to the brick wall and they took some LSD, the wall might talk back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just a normal person, you're not gonna get anything. But if they on some hallucinogenic drug, the wall might talk back to them.
No, they don't do that because it's against the, they follow the laws,
Yeah, well, Christians are hypocrites, man.
Yeah.
Very few laws, man.
Well, I know, and I
get drunk Saturday night,
Yeah.
They drink some liquor, but they don't care about that.
Hennessy bottle right next to the Bible.
Well,
But they tell you, we got a beta system.
Yeah.
A little wine is good for the belly, right?
That's fear. Fear of the law.
I guess they're just gonna follow the law too when the vaccines and everything come out and they tell them to do that. They're gonna go with that too.
Yeah, they're gonna do it. Of course they will.
Yep.
They believe that they're supposed to do that. That's what they believe. They believe that's the correct thing to do.
I mean, look at right now. Everyone got to wear a mask on their face. Could you imagine you talking in your mask, inhaling what you just exhaled, sneezing, coughing in your mask, and inhaling that back into your body? How the hell that could be healthy?
Yeah, I know, and even in Florida, it was like 95 degrees, and you got people in like riding bikes around with masks and walking around outside in the sun with masks.
Yeah,
and they make it mandatory at Universal Studios too.
Yeah, just because they say you have to do it, everybody comply.
Don't go there.
Yeah, I know.
Don't go to Universal.
Oh, I know. I don't go there. But people in the summer normally without masks, they'll like drop because of heat stroke and stuff. But I mean, with these masks, people are going to be dropping like flies.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. Too much people on the earth.
I live in Harlem.
I
live in Harlem, and it was just like Salakia, Richard. I live in Harlem, and it was like 90 something degrees just yesterday or the day before yesterday. And in my building, a lady, she had like 3 or 4 bags, and she had a shopping cart, and she had the mask on her face, and she was a Puerto Rican lady, and her whole face was red, and she would not take the mask off because she was so paranoid. Like, I'm like, you cannot breathe, miss. You're gonna die from a heat stroke way before Corona.
Yeah.
I can't even really believe it, honestly. I seen too, like a little child with the parents put a mask on the child, and I'm like, yo, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're just testing to see how ignorant people are. So when they pass the laws, to know if they will accept it or not. That's all.
But see, 9 times out of 10, it's not a law. It's a statute. It's a code.
True.
You know what I mean? That's the twist.
Yeah, but people don't know that.
They'll tell us it's a law, though, you know?
People the people are not aware of what laws are and what a statute is, and that's the problem right there.
Because like just me going to like public school growing up, the way I was taught to believe it was all the same thing. That every code, statute, violation, it was all based off of law. But in reality, it's not.
True. They're always trying to enslave you.
One time when I was I was living in like St. Louis, I had parked my car in front of the house I had lived at, and some officer gave me a ticket because it was like my car was facing the wrong direction or something. But it was in front of the house. It was crazy.
Yeah, some states like that. But alternative parking and all kind of crap like that. It's just ridiculous. You know?
Yeah.
Some people in DC gotta pay parking in front of their own home where they live.
Yeah, that's where I was right in front of the house.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I think their time's running out, honestly. I think it's yeah.
It's starting, but I think we have a little way to go still before we reach to the fullness. But it started. I'm kind of scared actually. I really am.
How come?
Understanding yourself and knowing what one is capable of doing, and to know that the reason why I will not do such a thing is because of fear of God and the lack of His love. Knowing that there's men out here have no love for God or do not care if they lack His love or not. It's scary to know that the things that I will not do, they will do. That's why I'm scared. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, yeah, that's going to be the majority of people, but I mean, I just think the spirit's going to lead us, and you know, not those people aren't really going to be able to like mess with the certain people, but they're probably going to like all go against each other, and for sure.
Time will tell, and we shall be here to see it all.
Honestly, the only way I feel like it will end is if we stay consistent, and history shows that we're not consistent. Like when society opens back up, I'm pretty confident that the marches will downsize at least 90%. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna run right back. Just like soon as Harlem opened up, you could. I don't know if you've seen pictures online, but it's everybody be outside like on top of each other, no mask, doing the most
Yeah.
craziest things. Like it's just like, and I'm a person that I really walk in faith. I'm not really worried. I'm not worried about COVID at all. But it's just sad when the world is it's pathetic sometimes. It's really pathetic. Like it's pathetic. I feel like soon and this is just my feeling. This is just my opinion. I feel like as soon as September come around and they start opening up the schools and everything, all this stuff that's going on, like the police brutality will continue, but the awareness will die down. Like it's going to die down, and then it's slowly going to go back to whispers, and we still going to be getting knocked off every day, just like the 23-year-old that just passed away and by the police, and he's agreeing. Like if whoever watched the video, he's agreeing with them the whole time. He's agreeing with them. He's even giving them props about doing a good job. It's just so sad. Like it's sad.
Yeah, it already seems to me like the marches and stuff are already died down like a lot.
The bars opened. The bars opened up. You see what I'm saying? Now the bars is open. The beaches is getting people are comfortable coming around each other now. It's sad. It's just
Yeah,
human.
I don't really think people really they act like they sort of are all concerned about it, like if they post on social media or they wear a mask. But in reality, I really don't think anyone gives an F that much. I think everyone sort of, if they don't want to admit it, but I think a lot of people sort of feel like they've been scammed, but they don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
Bandwagon.
And most of the people marching now are just like LGBT, like, and white people. That's about it. From what I see on the streams and stuff. So.
Yeah, I'm taking over the whole movement right now.
So Eric, when the constable stopped you in front of your house, like what did they say to you? Like, how did that resolve?
I wasn't even there. They just put something on the thing. I was just, and then like I went into the court or whatever, and then like the thing is that it wasn't even yeah, they just left it on my car. It was dumb. This is like a few years back, but then I went in and like it was actually addressed to like my mother, I guess, because it was under her name, the vehicle, and like the judge just sort of was like, he asked where she was, and I'm like, she doesn't live in the state, and then he just like reduced it to like $1, and I just paid the court costs or whatever. It was just a complete waste of time.
Con. Every dollar counts. You see, every dollar counts.
Yeah, it's just a huge scam system. That's it.
Con, the cricket system.
Well, it was not really designed for us, but if we do the right thing, we can make it work for us at the same time.
But see, Salaki. Go ahead, Terrence.
Man, I haven't researched it yet, but I was brought about the cops have a bond that they apply for something that's supposed to give them immunity to do some of the reckless things that they've been doing. And once you take them to court and they have this bond, I forgot the name of the type of bond that they have. And somehow, some way, they could move the court will move into the cops' favor because of this bond. So basically, he's saying they can just slam your face up against the concrete or whatever they want to do, and you take him to court, man, he slammed my face. Here's the video. But they have that bond. And somehow with the bond that they have, the court, like I said, the court moves into their favor. Not all the time, but majority of the time. And it's led to believe that's some of the type of behavior that the cops or constables or whatever they want to call themselves, the type of behavior that they show, because they apply for this. It's almost like they have an immunity bond. That's not the correct name of it, per se. I heard it mentioned briefly, but I didn't catch it fully. The type of bond that these crooked officials.
You talking about the Fraternal Order of Police, the FOP?
Man, I don't think it was called that. It's a bond. It's a name before the word bond. It's a type of bond that they have. Now all of them have it. Some of them don't.
Yeah, I heard about it. I'm trying to find a video right now that maybe can help you out with that. Give me a couple seconds.
But see, even though just the fact that you know that they bonded, bro, that's proof that it's commerce, it's money involved. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still learning. I'm not even nowhere near experienced to even try to give you any advice right now. So I'm not even going to go too far. But
Nah,
it's
nah, I understand that part of it, man. It was just
it,
I
but
kind of
no,
missed the name of it.
excuse me, brother. Excuse me, brother. I know a little bit. So the cop they use that to their advantage. You know what I'm saying? So they're somewhat protected, and they use contracts to get over on us. And that's what the Kahan was saying earlier. It's contract law, and law is contract. And the fact that we don't know the law, we consent to all of this. But since we do, it's like you got like one eye open because you understand that they're bonded, but then you got to understand the reason for bonds. It's all commercial transactions. You know what I'm saying? They're all trying to profit, like the brother Eric. They went as far to get $1 from the man. $1 is never that serious. Like, come on. It's sad, but it's all about how to move that contract, bro. That's why the constables that's doing what they're doing, they feel like they can do it because our ignorance and our consent. And we don't apply no pressure. And then when we do apply pressure, 9 times out of 10, we get bought off. We don't try to change the law. We take the check. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone.
Yeah, and I had to pay the court costs too. It was like $25 or something.
Yeah. So I'm about to shut this down, man. Yeah, that's a different Eric right there. Eric Yuri. He said everything we do is that your twin, Eric?
No.
Oh. All right, man. We're about to shut this down, man. So I thank everyone for tuning in. Be safe, man. Don't park your car in the wrong direction. That's the moral of this story.
Yep.
Because you might get $1 fine. Shalom.
Bye.
Shalom.
Shalom.